Hello, I'm Michael Laporta, principal of Freedom High School. The purpose of this screencast video is to inform you about the safety operations of our school this year. Our expectations are that these operations become our standard operations and procedures as we re-enter in-person instruction. Our ultimate goal is to enable your children to maximize their potential, ready them for life beyond freedom in a healthy and socially distant fashion. So please join me as I transition this video to my slideshow narrated by me. During this screencast, I will address the following items: entering the school building, cafeteria protocol, social distancing and safety protocols, transitions and congregate settings, large group gatherings, staff, students at high risk of severe illness, protocol when a student or staff member becomes sick, sports and extracurriculars, transportation, discipline, and code of conduct. Let's move on to entering the school building. This year, we will utilize three main drop-off areas for students to enter the school at the beginning of our day. Buses will drop off students in the bus channel in front of the main entrance of our building. These students must enter at the doors underneath the administration facade. The second drop-off area will be in the bus channel in the front of the main gym. Students who are dropped off in this bus channel must enter the building through the doors underneath the gymnasium facade. The third main drop-off area will be in the bus channel behind the main gym. Students who are dropped off here must enter the building on the second level behind the building at the 800 doors. For special drop-offs, we will utilize the back parking lot area known as the 129 entrance. These students are those riding smaller buses or may live in the 18017 zip code region. Students who drive to school either park in the parking lot in the front of the main entrance or back by the tennis courts. For those parking in the front, you are to enter the building through the administrative entrance. Students who park in the back lot are to enter through the 800 entrance. We will have 3 breakfast carts stationed throughout the building. They will be located in the areas close to the bus drop-off zone. There will be 1 station in the main gym lobby, 1 in the cannon lobby, and 1 in the main cafeteria serving area. All breakfasts will be a grab-and-go breakfast option. The cafeteria will not be available to sit and eat breakfast. Students will either eat breakfast on the run or will eat in their Block 1 class. Our expectation is that when students arrive into our building, they will report directly to their Block 1 class. We do not want students congregating in the lobby areas. Our goal is to promote social distancing and report directly to class. Last, all students, staff, and visitors are required to wear a mask upon entering the building. If you are unable to adhere to this expectation, you need to select the e-learning option. Moving on to cafeteria protocol. First and foremost, all students and staff must wear a mask in the cafeteria until they sit down to eat. There will be 3 dining locations. They are located in CAF left, CAF right, and in the auxiliary gym on the left half of the gym. The auxiliary gym, which is located on the second floor, will only be used during the first 3 of our 4 lunch periods. All students will be assigned a cafeteria location and time to eat their lunch based upon their Block 3 classroom location. The following seating pattern will be used in a CAF left and CAF right. There will be 2 options. There will be 2 students per round table and 4 students per rectangular table. In the auxiliary gym, there will be 2 students per rectangular table. As mentioned earlier, breakfast will be a grab and go with 3 separate locations stationed in proximity to the morning drop-off areas. A big change this year will be the fact that all lunch purchases will be touchless. What I mean by this is that there will be no money exchanged at the cash registers, or will there be any ID number pads used to access one's account. Student IDs will have a barcode on them, and all students and staff purchasing lunches will swipe their ID, and your lunch payment will be transacted via your building account. The process for adding money to your accounts will be similar to last year's process. You can either deposit money electronically, submit a written check before or after school, or pay with cash before or after school. All 4 BASD middle schools will operate as meal distribution centers for those students eligible to receive lunch. You will pick up lunches on Mondays for the 3 days you are not synchronously attending school in person. Moving on to socially distancing and our safety protocol. Once again, all students must wear their masks at all times except while eating. One way to look at these expectations is that we want to keep ourselves, our families, and our friends healthy and safe. I would not want to live with the guilt that I may have caused one to become sick due to not following the rules and expectations. There will be 5 mobilized hand sanitizer locations throughout the building. These are touchless stations that operate on motion. Additionally, teachers and students are encouraged to bring in their own hand sanitizer containers for their personal use. All bathrooms are to be stocked and cleaned on a daily basis. There will be a rotation of checks throughout the day for our custodial team to check on all bathrooms throughout the building. All classroom chairs and tables will be thoroughly cleaned on a daily basis. Students and teachers will have topical wipes provided upon request to wipe down their desktop and chair if they feel inclined to do so. All water fountains will have the mouth drinking piece turned off. Students will have the water bottle filling fountain available for their use. There will be signage throughout the building with messages promoting healthy living and social distancing. A special thank you goes out to St. Luke's Health Network and Precise Design Group in assisting us with designing our messages and our building messaging layout. Offices will have plexiglass partitions assisting in the social distancing and the prevention of spreading airborne germs. Classroom seating will be designed at a socially distant level. All desks and chairs have been spread over 6 feet dimensions. All other desks and chairs have been removed from each classroom. Each classroom will go through a deep cleaning process by our custodial staff on every Monday when students are not attending school in the building. Moving on to transitions in congregate settings. We will implement a staggered system of classroom dismissal at the end of each period. This dismissal plan will follow an odd-even room-numbered dismissal process. Odd-numbered classrooms will dismiss 1 minute before the even-numbered classrooms each block of our day. All bathrooms will be locked during the passing times in order to prevent students from congregating in them. All bathrooms will be available to students during class times. Teachers will manage bathroom usage requests. Our hallway traffic will follow one-way patterns. Again, our newly purchased building signage will clearly delineate where to go. Our assistant principals will cover this information during our virtual class meetings. Large group gatherings is the next slide. Any large group meetings this year, such as class meetings and class elections, will occur virtually. These meetings will be held via Zoom, Screencastify, webinar, and so forth. Protecting staff and students at high risk for severe illness. If you believe your child or someone in your family is at high risk for contracting COVID-19, you should have a discussion with your family physician. Perhaps they would recommend an instructional option for you to follow. Our students were given 3 options of instruction. They are hybrid, e-learning, and BASD cyber. Your selected option should have taken into consideration your child's and family's risk factors. What is the protocol when students or a staff member becomes sick? The school nurse will check the student's temperature and screen for any symptoms designated as COVID-19 risk factors. If she thinks the student or staff member needs to go home, the nurse will call the parents to pick up their child or send the staff member for testing. Next, the Bethlehem Health Bureau follows up and does contact tracing if the COVID-19 test is positive. If they choose not to be tested, they can return once they go 3 days without a fever. Please note that one cannot be taking any medication to reduce the fever. Sports and extracurriculars perhaps are one of the most controversial topics across the Commonwealth at this point in time. The PIA Board of Control has received the recommendation from Governor Wolf not to begin athletics until after January 1st. There has not been an official decision whether or not fall sports will begin in September. What the PIA Board of Control has agreed to do is suspend the start of fall sports for 2 weeks. There will be more to come after this Friday's PIA Board of Control meeting. All East Penn Conference co-curricular activities will be run virtually. Each principal in charge of their activity will produce a schedule with procedures once they are determined. We will await a recommendation from Dr. Roy whether or not clubs or activities will be held in person this year. Moving on to transportation. All bus assignments will be mailed home this week. If you have any questions, please contact our transportation department at 610-861-0360. Once again, all students must wear a mask while boarding and riding the school bus. Failure to do so will result in your child being denied access to the bus. As stated earlier, your selection of the hybrid option required you to agree to wearing a mask for all school functions. Additionally, all bus drivers are required to wear a mask as well. For your information, there will be 48 students to a bus that seats up to 72 passengers. There is no food or drink permitted to be consumed while riding the bus. Moving on to our code of conduct and discipline. During the first 2 days of school, all students will participate in virtual class meetings that will be conducted by the student service assistant principals. Each meeting will present routines and procedures, all behavioral expectations, restorative practices expectations, among many other items. One big question we have heard is what happens if a student refuses to wear a mask in class? The simple answer is the student will be removed from the classroom. Once again, it was clearly stated in the survey students and parents completed that by selecting the hybrid option, you were in agreement to all social distancing requirements. Wearing a mask was one of them. In conclusion, I hope this screencast answered any questions you may have had approaching the new school year. It is my hope that this year will be successful and this new normal becomes a thing of the past. Thank you for virtually joining me.